Okay, so now that we've set up our sales tax in Sage Intacct for construction, let's go ahead and let's go in and enter a invoice and see how it works. In this scenario, we're going to bill out a customer invoice and we're going to do it through order entry. I'm going to go into my Timberline General Construction instance. And I'm going to go into order entry. Let's go into Quick Bill. We'll go right into our Quick Bill invoice. And I'm going to click plus to add one from scratch here. So let's go as of today. We're going to go in and we're going to bill the Wegmans group. And you'll notice here the ship to pre-filled as that customer default ship to. And I'm going to select the project here. We're going to bill Wegmans Store 180. All right, so we have that filled out. So when I'm putting this invoice in, now here's where I can decide on what tax group I want to use. So if I'm using the Wegmans Store, you'll notice now if I grab my ship to, I have two options for Wegmans. I have their default contact, and I also have the contact that we set up that's specific to this project. So if I go to the Wegmans, let's do this. Let's leave it on the Wegmans group right now. And let's go through and fill the information out that we need. So let's say we're going to bill this project and the item we're going to use. So this is where, if you remember in the earlier steps, we went through and created our material items, whether they're taxable, not taxable. I'm just going to select material here. And, you could put in a description if you want. I'll just leave it blank for now. And I'm just going to come into here and say it's one item and it's $100. Okay. So once I'm done keying in my invoice detail, there's going to be a section down at the bottom called subtotals. If you don't see subtotals there, that means you have not enabled subtotals for that transaction definition yet. You need to go back and do that and then come back in here. So after all your detailed lines are in the system, you can come into here and say calculate subtotals. When I click this, now you'll notice that it's going to calculate off line 1, which is $100, and it's going to charge the sales tax of 7% for Iowa Des Moines. And so it got Iowa Des Moines from the ship to right here. So if we take a look at the Wegmans group and click view, the default tax group is Iowa Des Moines. Now, if we come into here and we switch it to the Wegmans Store 180, and we come back down here and click calculate, now you'll notice it switches the tax group here, and it's now exempt and there's no tax. And that is because it's pulling from the ship to. And now if we go take a look at additional information, that one is Des Moines. So what it's doing is it's using the contact tax group from the contact. It's looking at the material item. And back in the earlier sessions, we said that material item is taxable. And it's the item tax group taxable. And then it says, all right, well, if you remember, we set up a mapping of schedules that said, let me save this one here first. Let's post this invoice. Let's go ahead and post that. And then in our mapping, we said whenever it's a quick bill and it's a taxable item and the contact group is exempt, here's the schedule to use. And then vice versa, when the contact group is Des Moines, here's the schedule to use. Looking at the schedules, the exempt schedule is going to pull this detail in, which has the percent of 0. When we switched over to this one, this schedule is going to pull the Iowa Des Moines detailed ID, which has 7%. So that's kind of a summary nutshell of everything we went through and how it got to that point in the setup of that invoice and taxes. So if I go back into Quick Bill Forgot which one we left that on. So let's click edit here and let's go back in. Okay, so we have it on the exempt one. So let's do this and let's put it back to this group so we can see some taxes here. And I'm going to click calculate. And now there's that Des Moines group. So let's say it should charge 7% sales tax. I'm going to click post. And now that invoice is in the system. Now, this is demo data here. You need to make sure that you have your form created under printed document templates that shows the tax how you want it to be shown. I don't even know in this view if this form is set up to do that. So, but we'll take a look at it. Yep, so this form has it. So there's your material. And then it has sales tax 7%, total 107. So you need to make sure your forms are the way you want them as well. The other thing I want to show you now is that it's posted. We can go in and take a look at this invoice. And you're going to see, if I click view or edit, you're going to see a posting detail tab. And in here, we can see kind of what happened behind the scenes. So if I click posting detail, you can see the general ledger entry. So you can see here, it charged $7 to accounts receivable debit and accounts receivable trade of $90. And that's because we have retainage set up on here of $10. So the total invoice is 107. 10 went to retainage receivable, 97 went to accounts receivable. On the other side, we have 7% under sales tax payable, and then we have our revenue for 100. So behind the scenes, the general ledger will work correctly based on how our setup is again in our system. So that invoice is posted and generated, and you have successfully gone through and created a invoice that has sales tax on it in the system. Next, we'll go in and take a look at some of our tax reporting in the next section.